Today I want to share with you some new top 10 mobile games that are just must-plays. Ones that are so good that you really can't ignore them when they're in the App Store. They're staring at you, calling your name. It's time that you download them. So let's get into 10 that I think are really solid. Starting off the list, we have Monster Survivors. These survival games are a lot of fun, but a lot of them are very similar. This one brings unprecedented numbers of hordes at you. They're not super fancy, nothing crazy, but there are just so many enemies that it's extremely satisfying when you take them down. As you upgrade your weapons, you'll have more fun and just get that satisfaction fulfilled as you complete it. Magic Rampage is a hack and slash platformer style game that has not only action but also lore and story that goes along with it. Of course, you're going to be set in a very dark and dreary realm that is something that's quite popular these days in the gaming space. The game definitely has an old school or classic feel, but the graphics are remastered. It looks like a remastered version of a title that we may remember from something like the 90s. It gives me a feel of something like Alex Kidd, Castlevania, and Kid Chameleon all combined into one different game. This one's a lot of fun. The graphics are something that really stand out to me, is something that I really do like about the game. The combat is super fun as well, and it's just easy to jump into and enjoy. Coming in next, we have Death's Door, which is a Netflix game that gives me a new school Zelda feel and vibe. Now, movement and all of that is quite a bit faster inside of this game. The upgrade mechanic is really a lot of fun, allowing you to get new abilities, strengths, and magic along the way. But the levels themselves, they remind me of Zelda, which I think is really cool. A lot of people always do love a good Zelda title. Now, of course, this isn't that game, but it is something that will give you a very similar feel. It's an action style, open world-ish platformer game, which sounds odd putting those two together, but I think you'll understand what I'm talking about once you give it a shot. Bright Memory Mobile. Here we have a single player shooter beat 'em up style game. It has elements of both shooters and action RPGs in this first person battler, and it's a lot of fun. I actually like that this one prides itself on being a single player experience, because not everything these days needs to be focused on PvP. Sometimes you just want to dive into a game and enjoy it for what the game offers us and have a good time. This could be that game for you. The graphics are really exciting, the gameplay super fun, and lots of action throughout. And it's just something different. A little bit of a good mixture of hack and slash and shooter. Next up is Dungeon Hunter 6, and let me be honest with you. On my Echo Gaming Diablo channel, I was sponsored to promote this video. And in doing that, I actually enjoyed it. It's really a lot of fun where you have massive mobs of enemies that you're fighting against. You could play in an MMO style world with a ton of other people on the playing field as well, and you battle big monsters that you could actually summon and bring into battle with you once you defeat them. Now, being that I did have that sponsorship on the other channel, I was given a download link, so if you download the game, you can get yourself $50 worth of free stuff inside of it. So I'm going to be leaving that in the description of this video for you if you guys want to use it as well. I want to really preface here, this video has not been sponsored. I wish it was. But if you're looking for an action RPG and you're not interested in Diablo Immortal, Dungeon Hunter 6 is a lot of fun. And if you decide to play Dungeon Hunter 6, check out my link in the description of this video so that when you download the game, you get about $50 worth of free goodies. What's been your favorite mobile game that you've encountered in 2023? Because I'm already looking forward to the next year, and I want to know what you guys enjoyed in this one. Dust and Neon, another Netflix title that is an atmospheric top-down shooter. This reminds me of a Walking Dead style game, but an action shooter, and I really like both the controls of the game and how fun and good it looks. It's casual. The reload mechanism inside of the game is just super satisfying, and the actual gameplay itself is filled with progression, weapons, and enhancements that allow the game to get more and more enjoyable as you play through. It's one that's going to really suck you in. And then we have Omega Strikers. This game is a Brawl Star-esque style game, but it's a 3v3, basically soccer style game essentially. You're trying to get a goal against the opponents, and you're utilizing characters all which have different abilities. These abilities can help them perform the actions needed to succeed, which are to either take down your opponent by beating them or by scoring a goal. Lots of fun inside of this one, especially if you're looking for something that's a hybrid between a sports soccer game or something like one of those titles, or a battler itself. It definitely hybrids itself well between the two genres and really makes into a solid game. I could actually see this one doing well in the esports scene if it were ever picked up. The audience for this game is definitely large enough to have that type of an experience. But super fun, top-down gameplay with lots of characters to choose from. Streets of Rage 4 has an $8.99 price tag, but brings you back to your youth, assuming you're a similar age to me. This is a platformer fighting style game. It's a fighter, but done in a platformer situation, and the graphics are very comic book-esque. I absolutely love them. The gameplay brings you back to the olden days, but it's done in much of a smoother fashion now. It's a great mix of new and old, with graphics that are just on point that I absolutely love, and gameplay that is really rewarding. The fighting mechanic here is nice, and it's cool to be able to fight in an atmosphere that's not like a Street Fighter 1v1 atmosphere. Here you have a mission, you have a goal, and you gotta get through all the enemies that are gonna be stopping you, or at least trying to along the way. Speaking of fighters, we have Mortal Kombat Onslaught, because, it is Mortal Kombat after all. That 1v1 combat isn't actually the worst, but inside of this one, you're getting something very different. This is a turn-based strategy game that has the Mortal Kombat IP. So this is a great game for those of you that are huge fans of the Mortal Kombat IP, but into a more strategic style combat. I'm talking about turn-based strategy. It's basically a gacha style game where you're going to be trying to unlock or summon new heroes to the battlefield, upgrade them along the way, and then put them into battle. Of course, you will have to sacrifice your heroes as well, as we know from many other games like Raid Shadow Legends. By the way, I just launched a brand new channel called Echo Raid Shadow Legends. Go have a look. I play the game a lot. But this one is definitely fun. Devil May Cry Peak of Combat. All right, hear me out right here. I played Diablo Immortal. It's an action RPG. This has very similar elements to the game as Diablo Immortal, except for there's a lot more lore and story that goes along here in more of a linear style gameplay. I could see a lot of people enjoying this game that are looking for an action fighter game that is something that has been around for a long time and finally made its way over onto mobile. Tons of characters that you've already known, battle mechanics that you're familiar with, and something that mobile has never seen before, and that is an exclusive Devil May Cry title. This one's amazing. The combat's super fun. And you know what? As I'm recording this, I'm thinking I should probably feature this on the Diablo channel because it's that good. And talking about fighting style games that we like, I figured I would share with you Tepin, which is not a new game, but it is a game that utilizes the characters we know from fighters and brings them in to a card battler style game. I played a lot of this on this channel a few years back, and it was done very well. So many characters that you know and love are going to fight it out with their different abilities as they battle through a card mechanic that you've never seen before. As you could tell from the screen, this type of battler is very different from any that you've ever played before. So if you're looking for a card battler that's just different, straight up different, that looks really good and is a lot of fun, Tepin's a great one to try. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all my top 10 lists that I bring to you guys every day.